Hey, Jeremy, any way you could move your phone? You're on a phone, yeah?
I am, yeah.
I saw the NME video. Perfect. Yeah. That's muy bueno. The NME video you did, and you were wearing the headset, and the audio was incredible. I was like, oh my god, wow, how cool is that?
Really? It sounded that good?
Yeah, it sounded great, man. It sounded great. And now you just sound like it's a phone recording or something. Nowhere near as good. We're not NME, so.
Hold up. Hold up. I think I have.
Do you have your headphone? Oh, perfect. All right. Let's see how that works.
How's this?
Much better. Boom. There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
That's the exact same quality.
Damn iPhone technology. Hey, congratulations on your welcome, man. The album's been out for a bit. Looks like you've got a real shot at your first #1 with Everything We Need. I was taking a look today. You're at #2. If that damn Five Finger Death Punch band doesn't hopscotch you, leapfrog you, you guys have got a #1 here with Everything You Need. The song is impressive.
Thank you. We're really proud of it.
Tell me, do you feel the band's sound has evolved over the years, or has the audience just caught up to what you guys have been doing?
So I think it's slowly. I think it's slowly changed over time, and then obviously with this one, where we took liberties, they were extreme. I felt like this one was towing that line pretty well because we've had a lot of acoustic songs.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, our biggest song of all time up until now was an acoustic song. So for me, this one wasn't as much of a stretch. It's based in that like acoustic, folky world, but then like it has like modern production with it. So right. It has evolved over time, but at the same time, we've also kept the things that we've always done. So
yeah, and I love the acoustic version of this. In fact, we were playing both of them here in Reno for quite a spell.
That's awesome. I didn't know people were doing that, so thank you.
Absolutely. The acoustic version just brings out a unique nuance in it. Now, you worked with EDM superstar Marshmello on the track Rescue Me. Tell me what that experience was like. Was that the first time you guys have worked with an EDM star?
It was, yeah. So he had reached out to us years prior to that, like before he really, really took off about, writing with us and everything. And we said like, yeah, let's do it. We're down. But, it just never got started. We talked about it many times, but, there was never any music sent back and forth. And then years passed, we're both doing our thing. And he hits us back up out of nowhere. And he's like, hey, I have this track. I would love for you to write to it and see what happens. And I was nervous because like at this point, Marshmello was a massive, massive superstar. So what a cool thing to be asked to be a part of what he's doing. So, I'm worried. I'm the kind of guy where it's like, I hear the track and I hear the song or I don't.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I'm usually like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, how am I going to turn down this artist that is doing all these amazing things? So I'm doomsday prepping. He sends over the track, immediately spoke to me and had the whole thing written within a day and recorded.
Now, were you able to do this in person, or was it all done through sending stems via, email to a Pro Tools rig?
Yeah. He just sent me a track that he had started that he was picturing. And like I said, for whatever reason, that song spoke to me. I got with our longtime engineer collaborator, Andrew Wade, went to the studio. We finished up the writing bits and I tracked it all, sent it to him, and he loved it. Funny story about that. EDM is totally different from the rock world. I'm like, I didn't even tell anybody that I had done this yet because I didn't know if it was actually going to come to fruition or not. So I hadn't even mentioned it to the guys in the band. It had only been like 2 days and I just sent it to him yesterday. He said he liked it, but who knows? Maybe he's just being nice to me. And the band starts talking in the group message and people are like, why aren't we told that we're writing a song with Marshmello? And I was like, well, I don't even know if it's going to be used right now. Like he said he liked it, but who knows? Like, I think you'll like it though when you hear it. Yeah. And they were like, we do like it. He posted the chorus online. And I was like, what?
Wow.
He literally posted the whole hook of the song the day that I sent it to him. And for a rock artist, that is just mind melting.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny though to look back on. It was like our first experience with, new artists don't abide by those old rules. And I think that's awesome.
And it's interesting you mentioned that, because a band that you guys have shared the stage with many times over the span of the past 10 years, Bring Me the Horizon, I thought on their, their last full length, not this EP, but their last full length had a lot of that kind of EDM inspired stuff that was incredibly cool. And there's a whole scene back in Europe, and for some reason down in Arizona, that there's kind of a lot of that influence that's seeping into this metalcore vibe right now. It's awesome. How is the transition over to Fueled by Ramen then for you guys as a band?
It's been great. To have an entire team of people like theirs working for us has just been the most amazing thing ever. I mean, just like you said, like we might have a #1 song for the first time in our career this week, and it's solely, well, I mean, I'd like to think that it has something to do with the track, but at the same time, I think we've had plenty of tracks in our career that have gone on to do really great things. But nothing ever got pushed like that. We never had a team that could get it to that finish line like them. So just working with them has been really cool when it comes to, putting the songs together and, collaborating with so many amazing people. It was just like one of the most inspiring times of my personal musical career. So it's been amazing for me, honestly.
That's cool. I know sometimes when bands transition to new teams, they relinquish a little bit of the control. Has that been, do they have much outside influence on saying, well, we would like you to do this, or we kind of hear you doing this, or is it just completely a day to remember and they're just there to go, yeah, let's knock this one out of the park?
So I would more say they let us be ourselves, but at the same time, there were a few things where I wouldn't call it, it wasn't so much as an outside influence. It was more of like I'd like to see what it sounds like if you did this.
Right.
More like a challenge.
Cool.
And I got to tell you, at this late in my career as a writer, as somebody who really loves and enjoys the craft of songwriting, which is truly the reason that I play music. Like, performing is cool and all. I do like that, but my heart really lies in the creation of the music and those days creating it in the studio. That is my true love and passion, and trying to get better at that. So for someone to look me in the face and say, what's your version of this? And say, easy, let me do it. You know what I mean? Cool. It was so much fun for me.
Yeah. Give me a glimpse.
To be challenged.
Give me a glimpse, or maybe fans a glimpse into the songwriting process. Do you guys all jam in a room together, or is there a primary writer, being you or somebody else, who gets the basic structure and then gives it to the rest of the band to kind of color up? How does that work these days?
Well, there's a little bit of everything. So we didn't do the in the room thing this time. We waited until we got into the studio for the band to get together, which has actually been the case for every album other than Bad Vibrations and For Those Who Have Heart, which we wrote both of those records, just the band in a room by ourselves over the course of a year or two.
Yeah.
And we did that on Bad Vibrations for a reason, to get everybody like locked in as a unit. Let's do this like garage band thing again. It was a morale booster just to get everybody to really, really be attached to this group of songs, because we all sweated it out.
Yeah.
So this record was more like the antithesis of that. It was like, I'm going to write my songs. Neil's going to write his songs. Kevin's going to bring some. Josh and Alex are going to bring some songs. And then we compile, and then we did a few together. It was cool. Just the way it worked. And the name of the game I've been using a million times is collaboration, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was, I have songs that I wrote by myself. Here's a song I wrote with this guy. Here's a song I wrote with this guy. Here's a song that me and Neil put together. You know what I mean? So it was cool. And we've always had songs where it's the same A Day to Remember writer, but we have me like writing with, whoever it is on this one track, like Cody Quistad from Wage War, riffed around with us on our song Sometimes You're the Hammer, and it helped finish that song in a unique way that stuck out on that record, because I'm a big fan of records that kind of branch out in subtle ways, and I think having that random collaborator on track 5 makes the record as a whole a lot more interesting than if one person writes absolutely every note of it Because it just, there's some songs that guy gets really, really right. And then there's some that are just not as good, that feel like rehashing of ideas that were done better before. So I like to add those songs where you collaborate here and there to really round out a record that feels like a complete album instead of just, well, here's the singles and the rest kind of suck.
Talking about you guys in the live setting, the live show, almost a cathartic experience. Has this been by design, or has that just kind of come about organically?
It came about organically, and I think it had a lot to do with just the subject matter and how personal and introspective the lyrics have been over the years. We've always seen people really attach when we play this stuff live. So I think that's a big reason why people have loved our band for as long as they have. Like, I think it speaks to them on more than just, this is a cool song level. It's like, this person was going through the same shit I was. They just put it into a song form.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, with the balls going out in the audience and just how people are engaged for the live show, literally one of the most fun bands to see live, I think, that I've seen in the past decade or so. Tell me about the Self-Help Fest. Any chances of that returning post-pandemic?
I hope so. Honestly, we haven't even talked about it since, like, we're just trying to tour at all at this point. And, thankfully it's looking like the world is going to start rolling back a little bit. So that's really exciting for us in the music industry to feel like we're actually going to get some moments to go back to work again.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully when sometime next year, the year following, if the world's back to normal, we're gonna get something set up like that again.
And on that point, you've got two big festival shows listed up on the website right now. Could we see any additional shows to be announced in 2021, or is that pretty much it? And you're focusing on 2022 as far as going out and doing a regular headline tour?
We're definitely going to be touring this year. So
okay.
I'm not sure when that's going to be announced. It should be anytime now. So, but we're very excited to get back out there and play these songs. Honestly, and I know this is kind of tooting our own horn here, but we've never sounded better as a band playing some of this new material. So I'm excited to get out there and do it.
Very, very cool. Jeremy, if you were ever to do a completely self-indulgent, like maybe a side project or something, would you keep it in the rock genre, or do you think you would explore some other kind of sounds as just a one-off, I'm going to do this just for me because it might be fun?
I've thought about doing that for years. I have a ton of songs sitting around that don't feel like they work for a day to remember, but I really genuinely love. I could fill 3 albums with the amount of songs I have just lying around, but I'm really not sure. I don't know what the project would sound like, but I would want it, whatever it is, I would want to be inspired in the moment and be doing something that feels like fun and like what I want to sound like in that time. So we'll see. If I had actually made the time and done it 10 years ago, I would have probably tried. It would have been like a younger kid's version of a Tom Petty record or something like that. But who knows now? Like they got me with all these producers. I swear, and like there were so many people doing so many cool, unique, inspiring things production wise. Who knows what it would sound like these days, honestly. But I am excited to put new music together, regardless of what banner it's under.
I thought it was cool when, I don't know if you're a fan of Blue October or Justin Furstenfeld, when he went on kind of his storytellers or storybook tale, where it was just him and an acoustic, and in between songs he talked about, the writing of the song and gave some of that introspective history and stuff. I think you would look and do well in that kind of an environment in the theater or something. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. We actually we sold like meet and greet, like personal things a few years back for a tour, and we actually did that, like an acoustic performance, talk to the crowd. So
I remember we did one here in Reno with you guys several years ago. Yeah,
exactly. And that's how we handle it. So yeah, that would be cool to do. Honestly, our managers have wanted us to do a tour like that for years. So they're going to love that you said that.
Nice. Very, very cool. Well, Jeremy, man, I am so glad you guys are getting the success and the awareness that you so deserve with this new song, Everything We Need. And I just hope that on Monday I get to look at something and it shows it's a #1, and I'll be raising one to you, brother. Can't wait to see you again in a live setting. Thank you so much for the time today. Jeremy McKinnon, A Day to Remember. Awesome stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy.